Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Alright, Tom Hayes here. Today I just want to briefly talk to you about getting started on Amazon, okay? As far as your seller account goes, and then some basic Amazon FBA fees that you just need to be aware of while you're looking at your first products and kind of getting going. So when you're choosing your selling plan, you have two different options, okay? So you can either sell as an individual, which is free. Okay, the nice part about that is that it's free. It allows you to kind of get your access to your Seller Central account. You can make your product listing. You can sell up to 40 items a month, and it's a flat rate of 99 cents per item as a fee that Amazon takes, and you're gonna have shipping costs on top of that as well. All right. So what I also want to just say is that the professional account, which is what most people are going to opt into, at least for what I teach, which is Amazon FBA private label, it's a recurring fee of $39.99 a month, and you can sell as many items as you want. All right, so with that, let me jump back over here. So I made this sheet just kind of run through something to look at as we're kind of talking about all these different things. All right, so with your individual account, a lot of people will do FBM with that when they're first getting started. Right, they're selling stuff around their house, or they're doing maybe some retail arbitrage or something like that, but everyone that is going to kind of really get into this game and really going to be able to scale is going to have a professional account, and they're going to do fulfillment by Amazon, which is what FBA actually stands for. FBM is fulfillment by merchant, and that means that you're packing everything, you're storing all of your items, and when someone orders them, then you're going to put them in a box, you're going to take them to FedEx or UPS or however you're shipping them. You can get good rates from Amazon and actually kind of utilize their kind of negotiated rates for shipping and print labels directly at home. But when you really want to build a business and your time is super valuable, FBM isn't really the model you want to go after, because you're spending all the time doing that. Whereas in FBA, Amazon is storing your inventory, packing it, shipping it, taking care of all of that stuff for you, okay? So what comes along with that, though, is there are FBA fees, okay? So not only are you paying your $39.99 a month, and that's recurring every month, you're also going to be paying fulfillment fees and storage fees as well, okay? So let's just break down how those work really quickly. So this is a screenshot actually I took directly from Amazon. I think I actually might even have it still pulled up. So let's just take it from here, okay? So these are your fulfillment fees. And in your standard size, okay, everything in the standard size is up to 18 by 14 by 8 inches and is under 21 pounds. And as you can see in this, how it all kind of is laid out, you can see the weights, you can see the different categories it falls in, and these are going to be all of your prices, okay? So these are your different rates as you're looking at this. And this comes in handy when you're looking at product research. So what you're trying to do is make sure that, the more expensive or the heavier you get, rather, the more expensive it's going to be. And it's more expensive as well for your shipping costs, for other things that you're factoring in here. So when you're looking at the product viability and your profit margins, it's always good to kind of have an idea of what you're looking at here. For the sake of this video, I'm actually going to ignore oversized, because if you're just getting into Amazon, you want to stay over here, okay? And most people, you don't want your weight to be super high unless you can find a product that fits in that has great profit margins. Now, we can talk about that in other videos, but just because everyone says find a product that is, under 5 pounds, fits in a shoebox, is non-breakable, doesn't necessarily mean that's the best way to go. But it's a great place to start when you're just starting out with product research, okay? So these are your fees for fulfillment, which is meaning that they're packing them and shipping them out and handling them for you. Now, the fact that your inventory is sitting in their warehouse, they're going to charge you for that space as well. All right, so it's not in your living room, it's not in your garage, it's actually at an Amazon warehouse where they're handling all the logistics for you, which is the beauty of Amazon FBA, okay? It allows it to basically be a business that, once set up correctly, yes, you're touching it, but whatever else too, but a lot of the time it can run on autopilot once you get to a certain point of establishment, and as long as you know kind of where you are. You have to keep a pulse on your business at all times, okay? It is still a business. But one thing to note is that in the standard size, okay, so your 18 inches by 14 by 8 and under 21 pounds, there is per cubic foot basically a cost. All right, so, and you can see that from January to September, it's 69 cents per cubic foot. And you can see that in October to December, it goes up to $2.40 per cubic foot. The reason being is that Black Friday occurs in here. Right? You have all the holidays, you have Black Friday, you have Christmas. There's a ton of things happening. So all of a sudden, there's a ton of inventory sent in for this part in kind of the end of Q4, that their inventory and their space in their warehouse becomes much more valuable. So that's kind of the explanation of why this occurs, okay? So while you're kind of looking at these, a good thing to note is just that this happens. So when you're building in kind of your ideal inventory and monthly sales, and depending on the time of the year that you're looking to launch a product, it's good to have an idea of all these different fees that kind of come together to make sure you're accounting for all of these when you're looking again at profit margins, because the whole point of a business at the end of the day is to make money. So coming back to this sheet here, so these are literally just kind of broken. That's what we were just looking at, all right? And in here, I just put view Amazon guidelines again, because we're not touching on those in this exact video. These are your monthly. Okay, so those are broken down monthly, just as a reminder. All right, so they're reoccurring. And then there's long-term storage fees as well. So if you have products that aren't selling well, that aren't moving, eventually Amazon is going to start charging you for those products, all right? And they're going to start charging you at $3.45 a cubic foot, because they want products that are moving and they want things that are helping them, continue to grow as their business as well. And obviously we want to try to avoid that at all costs, but it's something to note that you have a limited amount of time that after, they used to be 180 days. It looks like they bumped that for the most part up to 365 days, but they also reassess it on a monthly basis now. So the 15th of every month, Amazon will kind of look at your inventory, look at your, sales, and they make a judgment call of, should we start charging long-term storage fees? And there's a few tools that I just want to briefly touch on, and one of those is the profitability calculator. Okay, so if we come over here and we're looking at this, let me just refresh this page so you can see really quickly. It'll actually kind of break down for you when you're talking to your manufacturer. You can actually get the weight, you could get the size of the packaging, you can figure out a lot of these different things, so you can start looking at the exact fulfillment fees and what it's actually going to cost you. Now, another thing to note is when you're talking to suppliers and when you're looking at products, don't just go on Alibaba and look at, their cost per unit. It might say, okay, it's going to cost us 60 cents per unit for that unit. But at the end of the day, you need to actually contact multiple suppliers. You need to get it in writing. You need to let them know that you want your logo on there. You might want custom packaging. You might want to change something about that item so you're diversified and differentiated in the marketplace, so you're adding value. All right, so a lot of your product research is not just going through Jungle Scout and looking at your different numbers and sifting through kind of that data. A lot of it also comes down to the negotiations you have with your suppliers, with your Amazon storage fees, with your fulfillment fees, and those aren't negotiable, but all of this factors into, are you entering the right niche and finding the right product? All right, so I just want to hop on briefly, explain a couple of these things. Hopefully this helps. If it does, hit the like button, comment below, and consider subscribing. All right, thanks guys.